Welcome to Wellington's Y Zone, a podcast dedicated to curate weekly sports conversations, be a constant sports hub for content and interview game changers within the community and the world. I'm your host, Wellington Burns, back for another episode. We are getting closer and closer to the NFL season, about 14 days away. I think it's the last preseason games. I mean, the energy is just through the roof, absolutely through the roof. I couldn't be more ecstatic that we are finally like near that. It's like the light at the end of the tunnel. It's like, oh my goodness, like football is like almost like actually tomorrow we got Iowa State and Kansas State playing. So we already got college football games loading up. And then next week, college football officially starts next Saturday. So I had obviously a lot of football topics to get into. I wanted to get into the ongoing saga between Jerry Jones, Micah Parsons. Obviously, that has been the biggest headline. Jerry Jones did an exclusive interview. I watched a lot of it earlier today with Stephen A. And I mean it was not anything I would have not expected from Jerry Jones. He's obviously a very entertaining personality, very engaging, but you really get a peek behind what his mentality is at this state of his like tenure of his whole working partnership and just ownership of the Cowboys, and the fact that he has like really, I mean, made them $1 billion franchise, just extremely lucrative. But obviously the question has been like 29 years you haven't been to the Super Bowl, back to the Super Bowl, haven't your team hasn't been to the conference championship since the 90s. It's just this thing of like, when are you going to get back to that state you were already at? And so one of the things I wanted to get to was, he was on Michael Irvin's YouTube channel for an interview, and he said, Jerry Jones said, "quote this he would have made him the highest paid guaranteed player other than a quarterback in the NFL. Nobody appreciates Micah Parsons more than the Cowboys or me. Nobody has ever offered him more money than I have to pay football. Period. Then I have to play football. Period." Um, so it's definitely one of those things where he's just like, hey, I'm a big believer in Micah Parsons. He talked about having a close relationship with his family, sitting with them at the Big 12 championship game last season, and just, talking and chopping it up. So he feels as though, hey, like there's still a chance and an opportunity for us to like make everything clear. Like there's no reason to worry. So he's very like still matter of fact about it. And obviously like 3 years, he's pretty much, he told Stephen A like today, like, I mean, he's gonna come back. Like he has no other choice. Like unless he wants to sit out playing 3 years of football, he's not gonna do that. Like he's gonna make this decision. So I think in totality, it still is bad business, I think, on Jerry Jones' part to do this to your most um valuable player. It's kind of like telling him, like showing him like, man, like what do you really think of me? You know what I mean? Like why are you dangling this carrot and just making all of these weird business propositions that just don't do anything for me? This doesn't help me. Like I'm in my prime. Like without me, you guys know what state you're in. Like the defense is not going to be good. It's not going to be potent without me. I'm a game changer. Like literally, I'm a game changer. So do I expect that there's probably going to be a holdout for a couple of weeks? Yeah, I'd kind of be surprised if he's back against Philadelphia for season opener. I would be surprised. I don't see it happening. I think by week 2 or week 3, maybe week 3, because you got to think Emmitt Smith, like there was a 2-week holdout for him, in the '95 season, I believe, and 2 weeks, he's like, you're not getting paid, and then after they lose both games, Jimmy Johnson's losing his mind. He's like, you got to bring him back. You got to get the deal done. And then that's what happens. You look at Chris Jones for the Chiefs in week 1, I believe, of I think it was a couple of seasons ago, where they lost to the Lions in week 1, and you know um, he didn't play. They lost by 1 point, and he came back in week 2. So definitely going to be interesting to see how that continues to play out. Um, Another topic I wanted to get to was the Bengals defense, and that has kind of been an ongoing concern and a red alert for them because they have 2 years, 2 straight years, consecutive years have missed the playoffs. It's rare, obviously, in the Joe Burrow era. He had an injury last year, and that definitely was like a big proponent of it. But still, like the defense was atrocious, an absolutely atrocious defense. So, they won their first preseason game on Monday against the Commanders. And they had good moments in there that there were some positive signs, but the defense is just still like inept. It's still inept. Um, and Mina Kimes even said this, an ESPN analyst, podcaster on the ESPN network. She said, "quote Red alert: 9 out of 10 at least. It'd be one thing if they looked bad in the preseason, but they were coming off of an even average season. Then we could say, well, they're figuring some stuff out: new coaching, new staff, new players in the lineup. They were bad and they still look bad. And I struggle to see a pathway for them to get significantly better." End quote. So I mean, there is obviously legitimate concern. There's legitimate concern about, like, are the Bengals, like, I think the Bengals are going to make the playoffs, but if this defense continues to still like be like atrocious, then yeah, like there's concern that they like might miss like a third consecutive year. I don't think it's going to happen, but like the defense is like it was historically bad last year. Like it wasn't just like one of those things. Like, oh, like they were like sort of bad. Like no, they were like historically bad, like low bottom tier, numbers, like really bad. So I personally think that Joe Burrow is a fantastic quarterback. We know that. We know the offense is great, but like, is that really, that didn't help them last year? That didn't help them the year before. So how much is that going to help going forward? And I think that's the question. Like what's the defense going to do? Is it going to get significantly better? Is it going to be like, oh, it's just okay? Because like I said in one of my videos, I was like, I mean, I don't think the defense can be that bad. And now I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Like I still think the Cincinnati Bengals will make the playoffs. I still think that. Like that's not changing. But I do think that there's concern for what the defense might be if they don't even step it up a notch. There's really no signs that they will. So I wanted to get to Anthony Richardson and the Colts. Obviously, it was announced on Tuesday that Daniel Jones will be the starter, and Richardson's agent was obviously very disappointed. He said, "We have a lot to discuss," and another thing was trust is a big factor that is at best questionable right now. Anthony came back and made the improvements in the areas he needed to improve, and by all accounts, he had a great camp. Um, and I mean, I don't think Anthony Richardson has taken anything personal. There is just questions about, I think, football character, football consistency, maturity. I think all those questions are kind of put into play. And I don't think Daniel Jones is like, I don't think anybody's like saying, oh, Daniel Jones is the guy. Like nobody is saying that about Daniel Jones, that he should be the guy. He should be the one. Nobody is. So I don't really see any way that um that's the answer for them. And it's gonna be very it's gonna be obviously like there's gonna be a spotlight on what Anthony Richardson's future is and what is he gonna do going forward. So I definitely think that's gonna be something to focus on. We're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back for the second half.